Good afternoon, good evening, family. Welcome, welcome to the Mental House with me, your host, Khadija. I guess I'm gonna put out another video since I'm doing some reflection, and it's very important that I release what is really in my heart and what is in my spirit. And so, what I'm dealing with right now is how it's important for us to really get on the path of retraining the brain. Okay, and as I was looking at the brain and I saw all these transmitters and all these receptors, and how some of them are responsible for certain areas of your brain firing up. And if I can say it in layman's terms, let me say it like this. It's like a car. You know how a car has like all these little wires that go to each one of the spark plugs? So when you turn the car on, if they're firing right on all cylinders and all the pistons, are hitting, then when you turn it on, and then it runs, right? But if you have one of those spark plugs that are bad, or one of those something inside that's not running right, it'll kind of like miss. When you start it, like, maybe running a little different. And I'm kind of saying that about the brain because as I like to study the brain because I realize now that so much of how we respond, especially as Black folk, is in our amygdala, and it's that part of the brain that repeats the trauma shit over and over and over again, and it makes you go to a primitive type of reaction to whatever it is. It's like we don't fire on the other cylinders if somebody says something that we find offensive. A lot of us, I'm not saying all, some but not all, some but all, some but not all. We have this real visceral response as opposed to, you know, let me filter this first. Let me examine what I'm hearing. Then let me respond. In other words, all of these cylinders are, kicking in and they're doing it. We might just have one, that one that just we're going straight to that crazy one, and it's just like, and that's thus you have all this, reaction, emotional type of drama because we are so stuck in that trauma. That's what it seems to me. And if you are the kind of person that never, ever, ever do self-reflection, and you don't find any need for that, and that to you is just a bunch of hocus pocus, a bunch of wasted time, then you are an individual who is probably not running on all those cylinders. All of them ain't on. Some of those pistons are off because it's real important that we self-reflect. Um, and like I was talking about in the last video, sometimes because of your programming, you can have a tendency to do certain things. Like in my case, I realized I have a tendency to over-explain myself. And that's what my parents made me do, just like over-explain. Over here I am, this age, still having to over-explain myself, which is really ridiculous, about certain issues. And I have never noticed that. And so obviously the other people that I communicate with probably never noticed it either because they probably communicate the same way. Nobody's on trial. There should be no reason for all this over explanation of whatever um, situation that we're in. That should not be normal, and we shouldn't be so defensive uh, because of the narcissistic abuse that we feel the need uh, to have all these visceral reactions. So all I'm saying, family, It's real important that you understand that we got to retrain our brain. The brain can be retrained. The programming can be undone. The psycho virus, it can be eliminated. It's just like if your computer got a virus, you know damn well you take it, you get the virus eliminated, but it takes a minute. And it's the same thing with the human computer. You've been downloaded with all these fricked out messages, um, messages that really served you no purpose, in order for you to grow up and be healthy. They didn't serve you any purpose. And when your parents beat your ass for no reason, just because they were mad, that is not a good recipe or formula of a healthy child. Okay. And whenever I find out, listen, I love my parents to death. You know, they were beautiful. They were beautiful people. Beautiful people. But I don't dare defend their child rearing skills. In the minute that I can't honestly uh, uh, speak on the abuse that they perpetrated up on me and my siblings, then that means I'm still a child. I'm still a child because I can love you and still, it's like your children. You might point out something crazy that they do, but it doesn't stop you from loving them, does it? And so if you running around here acting like your mother and your father, first of all, mouth and what they say is a prayer book. And that goes for me and my children. And I tell mine all the time, Mom, my mouth ain't no prayer book. Okay? And so you probably know that. You just probably saying it to yourself, but I'm saying it to you. Okay? And so sometimes we have to get real if we want to have a real, authentic, and open relationship with the people that we encounter. And sometimes it's too late. And the first sign of a narcissistically abused person is they can't take any kind of criticism about themselves. And it borderlines on psychopath, uh, psychopathic. You know, and that's why I say the more than anything in our community, we need mental health because we have a lot of psychopaths running around. As soon as you say something that they don't like, they'll shoot you. They'll shoot you dead. It's a narcissistic injury. It becomes their narcissism and their rage is just overtakes them because you might have corrected them. And you might have corrected them in front of their boys or in front of their girls, and then they'll run in a pack and run your ass down, which is no different than any sick individual that hasn't learned, that hasn't is not firing on all those systems. They're not firing on all them cylinders. Is what I'm trying to say. I really want us to get serious about retraining our brain and getting on our mental health because if we don't, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. All right, family. I love you so much. And thank you for being out there. And I'd like to thank all my listeners on the other diaspora, other side of the world. Thank you for being out there. Thank you for all my listeners in Europe. Thank you to my listeners in Thailand. I'd like to welcome you as well, my Facebook family, and of course, my YouTube family. Y'all be blessed today and stay safe and go out and make it a wonderful, productive day. Adios. Da, 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 da.